Welcome to Finding Holiness, where we delve into timeless Torah wisdom, revealing the sacred in everyday moments. Join us on a journey to elevate your spirituality and discover holiness in every aspect of life. I'm your host, Rabbi David Kadosh, and together, let's embark on a path of spiritual exploration. I hope you enjoy this next episode. It's good to be back. For those that don't know, last Shabbat was the start of a brand new Mishna Yomi cycle, encouraging the whole Kahal, the whole Klal Yisrael to study Mishnayot, 2 Mishnayot a day, with the intent to finish all of Shas in 6 years. Now, it is kind of like Daf Yomi, but a lot easier than Daf Yomi. 2 Mishnayot. Baruch Hashem, we have Mishnayot here in the library. You can feel free. You're only about 5 days behind, so you're okay. 6 days. 6 days behind. Masechet Brachot, quite easy. I encourage all of you. Mishnah is so important. We learn here every day between Micha and Arvit. And you can check out the new website that was created by the Orthodox Union, allmishna.com. So they have the alldaf.com for Daf Yomi studiers, but they have allmishna.com where they have various shurim that are given for 2 Mishnayot a day. And they range from as short as 3 minutes to 15 minutes. So whatever time is allowed in your schedule, you have what to choose. You have what to choose from, and I encourage everybody, if they have the opportunity, to study the Mishnayot, daily Mishnayot. It's very nice. We are continuing with our own Mishnayot, and the last we left off was on the second parak of Masechet Yevamot. We are on Mishnah Yud. The Mishnah, which is the final Mishnah in the chapter, deals with a neder, vows that a woman made a vow that she would not benefit anything from her husband. So she made a neder. So in essence, she's now forbidden to her husband because you made a neder. I'm not going to benefit from my husband. And therefore, as a result, Masechet Nedarim talks about this. She has to now divorce her husband. How can you live with your husband without benefiting from him? There are 2 ways to be released from the vow. One way is that the husband can cancel the vow. And another way is that you bring a chacham, an exceptional Torah sage, and when he will find the proper grounds to annulling the vow. So now, this Mishnah is talking about a case where the woman made the neder, the husband did not cancel the vow, and she now came to the chacham to release her from it. Says the Mishnah Yud Perek Bet, Hechacham she'asar et ha'isha b'neder al ba'ala. Now you have a sage who, after listening to what the woman did, he continued to forbid her to her husband due to the vow. Meaning he didn't find grounds in order to annul, to release her from the neder. The Mishnah says, Hare ze lo yisaena. This sage cannot marry this woman after the divorce, because now she has to divorce her husband. But he can now go and marry her afterwards, because people are going to suspect that the chacham purposely didn't find a way to release her from the neder just so that he could marry her. Me'ana ol shechalza befanav. But if there was a girl who performed mi'un or chalitza, mi'un is she denied, as a child she was given over to a man to be married and she refused, or chalitza in the presence of a chacham. In that situation, yisaena, the chacham can marry the woman afterward. Mipeneshu beddin. Here he's just acting as a part of a beddin with other judges there for the mi'un and the chalitza, so he can marry this woman if he wants to. Vechulan she'ayu lahem nashim. If any of these men, who, like in this Mishnah, the husband or the agent who brought the get, which we spoke about in the last shiur, way back when. So if any of these men had wives at the time that they freed the woman to remarry, vametu, and these wives later died, mutarot linaseh lahem, the women who they now enabled to remarry, may marry these men because we're not suspecting them in having these plans to marry the women while they still had wives. And as well, if any of these women married others after these men enabled them to remarry, ונתגרשו או שנתאלמנו, and then they were divorced or widowed, מותרות להינשא להן, they are allowed to marry the men who enabled them to remarry, because these men did not enable her to marry in order to marry her, because she married someone else first. וכולן מותרות לבניהם או לאחיהן, and all of these women are permitted to the sons or brothers of these men who enabled them to marry. All right, so that concludes the third chapter of Masechet Yevamot. Okay. The third chapter, that concludes the second chapter of Masechet Yevamot, rather. The third chapter of Masechet Yevamot, we're back to the charts. All right, so again, the best way to go through this, being that we don't have markers and chart paper behind me, is, I guess, just to visualize the best that you can in your mind as we go through this. Okay, Arba'a Achim. If there are 4 brothers, Shnai mehen nesuim shtei achayot. 2 of them were married to 2 sisters. Umetu nesuim et achayot. 2 of the brothers that were married to the sisters died. Harei elu cholzot velo mityabamot. These sisters now have to perform chalitza with the remaining 2 brothers, but cannot be taken into yibum. So, okay? Ve'im kadmu ve'kansu yotziu. And if the surviving brothers did perform yibum, even though they weren't supposed to, yotziu, they have to divorce them because the marriages were forbidden. This is the opinion of the Tanna Kama. Rabbi Eliezer says, it's actually a machloket between Bet Shammai and Bet Hillel. Bet Shammai omrim yekaimu. Bet Shammai says, if the 2 surviving brothers actually went ahead and married those sisters, then they could still keep them. Ubet, meaning stay married. Ubet Hillel omrim yotziu. It's Bet Hillel that says that they must divorce, and we follow Bet Hillel, so they have to divorce. Mishnah Bet. Haita achat mehen asura al ha'echad isur erva. If one of the sisters was forbidden to one of the living brothers under an erva prohibition. But for example, let's say this sister was the guy's mother-in-law. So that's one of the ervas. Asurba, then he's forbidden to marry her. Umutar bachota, but he is allowed to marry or perform yibum with her sister, this mother-in-law's sister. Ve'asheni asu bishtehen. The second brother is forbidden to both sisters because he has a yibum bond with both of them. Isur mitzvah ve'isur kedusha. If one of the sisters was forbidden to the living brothers as a result of isur mitzvah, a prohibition, we spoke about this, a prohibition due to the mitzvah to keep rabbinic laws, or an isur kedusha, or a prohibition due to maintain the sanctity of the kehuna. In that case, choletze v'lo mityabemet, each sister needs to perform halitza, cannot be taken into yibum. Mishnah Gimel. Haita achat mehen asura al ze isur erva. If one of the sisters was forbidden to the brother as a result of an erva prohibition. Ve'ashniya asura al ze isur erva. The second sister was forbidden to that brother under an erva prohibition. Ha'asura laze mutet laze. The sister forbidden to this brother can do yibum to that brother. Ve'asura laze mutet laze. And the sister that's forbidden to this brother is permitted to that brother. This is the application to what the Chachamim said earlier in the Masechet. Achota keshehi yebimta. If you have an erva's sister who's also a sister-in-law, o choleset o mityabemet, the sister can perform chalitza or yibum. Okay, the next 4 Mishnayot talk about cases where there are 3 brothers and 2 of them are married to 2 sisters. Mishnah Dalet. Shlosha achim. There were 3 brothers. Shnai mehen nesuim shtei achayot. 2 of them were married to 2 sisters. O isha ubita, or to a woman and her daughter. O isha obat bita, or these 2 brothers were married to a woman and her granddaughter. O isha ubat bena, or to a woman and her granddaughter from the son's side. And now both of these brothers died childless. The law is, Harei elu cholzot velo mityabamot. These women have to perform chalitza with the remaining brother. Remember, there were 3 brothers, so they have to perform chalitza with the remaining brother and cannot be taken into yibum. Rabbi Shimon poter. Rabbi Shimon says, even chalitza you don't have to do, okay? Because when you have 2 closely related women that fall together to one yavam, there's no yibum bond according to Rabbi Shimon. Hayta achat mehen asura alav isur erva. If one of the women was forbidden to him because of an erva, asur ba, then the remaining brother is forbidden to her, umutar ba'achota, but is permitted to marry her sister. Isur mitzvah or isur kedusha. If one of the women was forbidden because of an isur mitzvah, which was again to keep rabbinic laws, or because to maintain the sanctity of the kehuna, cholotzot velo mityabamot, both women have to perform chalitza, but they cannot be taken in yibum. Similar situation. Shlosha achim, again, 3 brothers. Shnai mehem nesuim shte achayot. 2 of them are married to 2 sisters. Ve'echad mufne. The other one was unmarried. He stayed unmarried. Met echad mi ba'alei achayot. The husband of one of the sisters died. Ve'asa ba mufne ma'amar. Now the unmarried brother went to the widow and made a ma'amar. A ma'amar was like this form of marriage. It wasn't a real kiddushin, but it is considered technically like a kiddushin. Ve'achar kach met achiv hasheni. And then the other brother died. Bet Shammai omrim, Bet Shammai says, Ishto imo, the ma'amar wife of the unmarried brother stays with him. V'hala tetze mishum achot isha. And the other widow from the second brother that died can go out and marry whoever she wants without chalitza. Bet Hillel omrim, motzi et ishto beget b'chalitza. Bet Hillel says he has to send out the ma'amar wife with a get, because you have to undo the ma'amar, because it's almost like a kiddushin, so she needs a divorce, and then he has to do a chalitza to remove the yibum bond. Ve'eshet achi b'chalitza, and then he sends out the second widow to do with chalitza. Zohi she'amru, this is what the Chachamim said, oy lo al ishto ve'oy lo al eshet achiv, that woe to him over his wife who he now has to divorce through no fault of his own, because the second brother died. Ve'oy lo al eshet achiv, and woe over to his brother's wife who also cannot marry, because they have there's a bond over there. Okay, another case of 3 brothers. Shelosha achim, 3 brothers. Shnai mehem nesuyim shte achayot. 2 of them married 2 sisters. Ve'echad nasui nochrit. One of them, and one of the remaining brother was married to another girl. Nochrit here doesn't mean non-Jew. It means like a stranger, meaning no relation. Met echad mi ba'alei achayot. The husband of one of the sisters died. Vechanas nasui nochrit et ishto. And the brother who was married to the stranger then married the widow of the brother. That's a mitzvah. Yibum. All good. Vamet. Now he died. Okay? He died childless. So you have 2 widows that are left to the living brother. Harishona yotza mishum achot isha. The first widow, who was originally married to the first brother who died, goes out free because she's achot isha, she's the wife's sister. Ushniya mishum tzarata, and the second widow goes out free because she's the co-wife. This was all actually learned in the first Mishnah of the Masechet. Asaba ma'amar, if the brother who was married to the stranger, meaning the random girl, no relation to the sisters, okay, if he didn't marry the first brother's widow, but he made a ma'amar with her, vamet, and then died, nochrit choletzet v'lo mityabemet, the stranger performs chalitza with the living brother, but cannot be taken into yibum. Shlosha achim, 3 brothers. Shnai mehem nesuyim shte achayot. 2 of them married 2 sisters. Ve'echad nasui nochrit, and one of them married the stranger. Met nasui nochrit, the one married to the stranger died. Ve'chanas achad mi ba'alei achayot et ishto, and the husband of one of the husband who married one of the sisters married the wife in yibum. Very good, fulfilled the mitzvah. Vamet, now that guy died. So you have two wives for yibum, but just a different order in how it happened. Harishona yotza mishum achot isha, the first woman, who was the original brother of the original wife of the second brother, is now free to remarry without chalitza because she's a sister of the living brother's wife. Ushniya mishum tzarata, and the second woman becomes a co-wife. She also goes free. Asaba ma'amar, but if the second brother didn't marry the nochrit, but rather perform ma'amar with her, bamet, and then died, nochrit choletze v'lo mityabemet, this stranger woman has to perform chalitza and cannot be taken into yibum. Okay, let's do maybe one mishnah more. Still got a few minutes. Shalosha achim, 3 brothers. Shnayim mehem nesuim shtei achayot. 2 of them married 2 sisters. Ve'echad nasui nochrit. 1 of them married the stranger. Met echad mibaalei achayot. Husband of one of the sisters died. Ve'chanas nasui nochrit et ishto. The one married to the stranger married the dead brother's wife. Umeta ishto shel sheni. Then the wife of the other brother, which was the second sister, also died. Ve'achar kach met nasui nochrit. The brother married to the stranger died. Harezu asura alav olamit. This woman, who was the first brother's widow, is forbidden to that remaining brother forever. Ho'il v'ne'esra alav sha'achad, because she was forbidden to him at one time. When her first husband died, she couldn't marry to him. And once you're prohibited to marrying someone according to halakha, you can no longer marry them anymore, just because the brother died, and there's a yibum option there. Shlosha achim, there were 3 brothers. Shnai mehen nesuim shtei achayot. 2 of them married 2 sisters. Ve'echad nasui nochrit. 1 of them was married to the stranger. Geresh echad mibaalei achayot et ishto. The husband of one of the sisters divorced his wife. Umet nasui nochrit. And the brother married to the stranger then died. So we have the stranger woman was now fell to the 2 remaining brothers for yibum. Uknasa hamgaresh. The brother who divorced his wife married her in yibum. Vamet, and then he died. So now what we're left is we have the stranger woman falling to the 3rd brother for yibum. Zohi she'amru. This is what the Chachamim says. V'chulan shemetu nitkarshu. All the advaz that were listed in the first Mishnah, if they died or they were divorced before their husband passed away, tzarotehen mutarot. Their co-wives are permitted to the living brother. And this is what we're reference to the first Mishnah that we had in the start of the Masechet. Okay, we'll conclude here.